Hello, hi, hey. I am Jakara N. Holman, and I am at the Twin Cities Film Fest, and you are watching the Red Carpet Interview. Today I get to interview, I want to say the ladies, but I know that it's just more than ladies and queens and legends in this film. But today I get to interview our amazing filmmaker and amazing leader here about the Juneteenth story docu-film. So first we're going to hear from our director and producer, Monique Linder.
Hello there. Thank you. And thank you for the Twin Cities Film Festival for selecting our film to be in the festival. How exciting.
I know. And we have the Dr. Josie R. Johnson here with us.
Thank you very, very much. It's my honor. And to know that we can tell a story and share it, part of our history, we're always happy about that.
Yes, thank you. So this is a six-part docu-film, and today we're going to watch one of six parts, a 30-minute clip of it, and it is the Juneteenth story from Minnesota to Galveston, Texas. And
Absolutely. And having been a part of that, I'm very excited that I'm here and with you and we can talk about it.
yes, and I understand that you guys actually traveled to Texas.
Yes.
Yes.
And I lived there for
Really?
and knew I was there at the time of the filming of all of this.
Yes.
So yes, it's a
But
wonderful.
She's from Houston,
I'm
grew up
from
in Houston.
Right, just
Yeah.
outside of Galveston.
So yeah, we traveled to Galveston, and our purpose was to really connect with the people there. And I just really want to acknowledge the gratitude I have for how they invited us in to their homes to tell the story. These stories were passed down to them from generation to generation. So they were descendants of the enslaved people that came to Galveston, Texas. And so it was really important to really connect with them, especially the young people, because there's a special part in the film where we hear from a young person that, just communicated how he felt about it and how the stories weren't really given to him for fear that, I just don't want to talk about it. That was really horrible, something that happened to our ancestors, and we just want to forget it. So it was powerful.
Amazing. Being as powerful as it is, you had both the Minnesota, I want to say Minnesota, but he's the Minneapolis mayor, Melvin Carter, in the film
St. Paul.
St. Paul. Yes,
The
yes, we have
mayor of
Jacob.
St.
We have
Paul.
Jacob Fry.
That's right.
So the St. Paul mayor, and then we had the Galveston, Texas mayor speak. And one of the things that he spoke on, speaking of the young people, because I was like, "Roar," when he stated this, is that he mentioned that Juneteenth stands for freedom, not only for African Americans, but everyone in the world. I was like, wait a minute. Now they already have July 4th. That's theirs. Juneteenth is ours. But it's for everyone. And why is that?
Well, that's simply because we're sharing the sense of freedom with all the people. But that planning of the event in Texas is very special for Texas. Texas people were involved in it, they know the story, they were engaged. But we share. We share with the whole world because everybody needs to feel the sense of pride and joy in freedom. So we're happy to do that.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'll add that Dr. Craig Brown, you'll hear this in the film, at the time, there were still 4 million enslaved people when we first celebrated the 4th of July. And he really wanted this, holiday to be about bringing people together, but also to educate them. We're not free until we celebrate Juneteenth. They were his words.
Well, I want to thank you as a young person for helping bring some clarity and understanding as to why it is okay for us to share in this monumental historical event of celebrating Juneteenth. Now, another statement that you just kind of mentioned a little bit is that Mayor Brown stated that Juneteenth is as important as July 4th. He said, as a matter of fact, it should have an asterisk by it because it is not complete until we celebrate Juneteenth. And why is that?
again, what he was saying was that when we first celebrated the 4th of July, there were still enslaved people. And so you have 4 million people that weren't free. And I mean, I'll add to it that even with Juneteenth, there were still freedoms that were being withheld and that are still being withheld today. So, not to get too political on the red carpet, but
Yeah.
we have to be able to talk about these things. And really, the film is about passing on this history to future generations as not to repeat history. So,
Okay, now we have to wrap up this segment, but first I have to ask this question because I understand that while in Galveston, Texas, you visited one of the largest slave trading auction sites. And it was just like a gut punch. And I want to know, how did that experience feel being on those grounds where our people were sold?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the realization of history.
Yes.
So when you are actually there and can feel the steps that our
Mm.
people took, who then had to be reviewed and chosen
Yes.
for purchase, that's very important. And it means a lot. And it's important to bring that back and to help our people understand what are those steps? How does it mean to be placed in a place where you are viewed and then purchased? What does that mean? And it's very important that we bring that and share it with our community.
Yes, yes, yes. Please share your feelings of being there.
well, we've toured many spaces where our ancestors were enslaved, and you feel their power, you feel the spirit, that wretched history and pain that they suffered. You feel it when you're entering into those spaces, and so gut wrenching, painful, sorrow, but also I celebrate their strength and the fact that they survived that middle passage. So I celebrate that. When I go into those spaces, I think about what they endured and how they came through and how strong they were. You'll hear the stories in the film, especially there's one where a mother traveled from Alabama and stowed away her baby on the ship, and the last stop was Galveston. How was she able to keep the baby from crying? She stowed away, and her descendants are still attending Reedy Chapel where we filmed, and we heard these stories. They're still attending that church today.
So I know we have to wrap this part up, but I just want to leave us with this number. More than 84,000 slave ships were shipped. More than 84,000 slave ships were shipped. That was stated in this docu-film, and that is a piece of information to take with us. And now, I think we want to bring in some more individuals that took part in the film, so we're going to take a break, and then we're going to go to our next part. I am with the director, filmmaker, and producer, Monique Linder, and our leader, Dr. Josie R. Johnson.
Happy to be here.
Thank you.